Okay, so I am going to film a little get ready with me, and while I'm getting ready, I am going to tell you guys, Alexa, volume 2. I am going to tell you, do a story time about a spiritual experience or paranormal experience that I've had in my life. I've had many of these kind of experiences that I can't explain. And this particular story is probably one of the more like crazy. I don't want to say crazy. That's not the right word. It's one of the more interesting, and just like what happened was actually a miracle. So anyways, this happened, oh man, I was like 11 years old, and my cousin, she was under the age of 2. I don't know, she probably was around like maybe 18 months old when this happened. And this was in Columbus, Ohio, and my aunt and uncle lived in a 3-story level apartment, like townhouse, or no, it wasn't a townhouse, it was an apartment. So it was like a 3-story level apartment, and I was babysitting her. I was at my aunt's all the time. I practically lived with my aunt and uncle when I was growing up. I was there quite often, and you know, we would just hang out, and I would babysit her. My uncle worked the overnight shift, so he was there when I was watching her, but he was sleeping, which is the reason that they needed me to be there. So yeah, so he was sleeping, and you know, I would sit with my cousin and cartoons with her. And at the time, I remember, this really isn't important to the story, but just kind of trying to set the scene. But we would watch Barney a lot. Barney was really popular, so we were watching Barney, and I was on the phone. It was a hot summer day, so I had one of the windows open, and the screen, you know, there was a screen there, but yeah, I had the window open. And so I think I was on the phone with my grandma, if I'm not mistaken. I turned my head for what felt like no more than a couple seconds. And when I did that, my cousin had climbed up onto a desk that was right in front of the window. And so she had climbed up there, and she just had a diaper on too. She didn't have any clothes on. It was the morning, or I think it was in the morning when this happened. And so she climbed up on the desk, and she pushed the screen out, and she fell out of the window 3 stories high. So I'm freaking out, like crying. I run in and I wake my uncle up, you know, and he's frantic. I'm like, oh my gosh, Chelsea fell out the window. You know, I'm thinking like I killed her. I'm like, oh my God, like she's dead. You know, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm like, I'm never gonna forgive myself for this. And so I'm so upset, and he runs out like practically naked. He ran out and went downstairs, and then come to find out, there had been had just so happened to be I believe it was a woman, if I'm not mistaken, and she had witnessed the entire thing. She witnessed my cousin fall out the window. So apparently, and there was a tree right there, you know, like right near the apartment building, right there kind of where she fell. And so apparently this woman said she saw the fall, and she said it looked as if the tree branch, like the tree branch, like reached out and caught my cousin and like sat her down gently on the ground. My cousin did not have one mark on her. Let's see. Yeah, so the witness said that it looked like the branch had reached out and basically caught my cousin and sat her gently down on the ground. And it was just crazy, because I remember feeling like I had, you know, messed up so bad and hurt my baby cousin, and how was I ever gonna forgive myself if, you know, she didn't make it, or like was permanently like injured from it or whatever. But that was not the case. She survived that fall, and not only survived it, but survived it with not, you know, a mark on her. So just an amazing story. And I have a lot. I actually have quite a few stories that are similar, that are just like paranormal in nature or have like a spiritual element. Like I've had a lot of experience with sleep paralysis, and I've had that since I was a child. One of the things I guess I can talk about in this video is like recurring dreams. So I don't know, like I just find dreams to be so fascinating because I have always been kind of a lucid dreamer and like a vivid dreamer, and I often remember my dreams, and they play out in my head like a movie or like an adventure. And a lot of times in my dreams I fly, and I have to concentrate really hard to be able to do it. But like the reason I fly, and I've been doing that since I was a kid, is when I was a kid, I would have repeat nightmares of like something chasing me and like always trying to get me. And like I would get away just at like the right, or get away from this thing, whatever it was, at like the last second, you know. And the way I did that is like I would really like concentrate and think about like propelling myself up, and then I would like all of a sudden I'd be flying kind of like a bird, but I'd have to focus on it. And then once I was in the air, I kind of would just soar from like tree to tree or like rooftop. Like I would land on rooftops and just kind of like sit there and just watch everybody. Or like then I'll have dreams where I'll have like multiple people chasing me or something trying to chase me, and I'm like, look what I can do. And then I start like levitating and flying, and it's just such a cool, those are the most amazing and fun dreams that I have, because it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like I'm rising above. Like I'm rising above something that's in my life, going on in my life that is, you know, toxic or, you know, sad, or something that I'm going through that's difficult. And these dreams kind of make me think that I have this ability to, you know, rise above, and like rise up to the challenge, and to be able to like overcome, you know, just overcome life circumstances and some of life's challenges. And I think that's what that dream maybe means. I don't know. I'm not a dream interpreter. And I think I need to look up what the meaning of the dream is. If you know what that means, I would love for you to comment. Or if you've had any like reoccurring dreams throughout your life, what are those? Another one that I had a lot, and this is a very common one. I had this often as a child. I don't really have this dream anymore, but I used to. And it was that I would be in the sky and I'd be falling, like free falling. And then before I hit the ground, I wake up. So those ones are very scary and very jarring. And usually I will be like jarred awake from my sleep because of it. Also, when you guys dream, do you have the ability, like a lot of times I'll be dreaming and then I'll wake up and for like a few minutes or something, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then I go right back into the same dream. It's like I just continue the dream. It's so weird. But if you do have these kind of dreams, I would suggest, and like you forget them, try writing it down. Like keep a dream journal or some kind of a journal next to your bed, and whenever you wake up and because usually when you first wake up, you remember the dream, but like you have to write it down, you know, right away, or you have to just sit there and think about it intently. That's what I do. I don't write. Usually I mean, I will write down dreams in my journal, but a lot of times I will just like think really intently about the dream in my head when I wake up, and I'll just think about it over and over and over again. And then it becomes like a memory. Like I have many dreams that I remember and I can recall, which is a pretty cool thing. So I don't know, I find dreams to be fascinating, and I do believe that there's a meaning for them, and there's some kind of like, you know, like message maybe that, I don't know, that like God is trying to tell you, or if you believe in that, if you're spiritual. So like I am, I believe that maybe I'm getting messages and I'm being communicated with during some of those times when I'm sleeping. So it's just really fascinating, I think, to think about that. But anyways, yeah, so back to my cousin. You know, she's alive and well today. She has, oh my gosh, I think she has five babies. She is an amazing mother, and obviously she was meant to be here because she's got 5 babies and her own family who are amazing kids, and their life, you know, they were obviously meant to be here. So, you know, I just think that's a fascinating story, and it makes me believe that much more in God. And I'm not I wouldn't call myself a religious person. If I had to choose a religion, I guess it would be Christianity, because I believe really in Jesus Christ, and I believe in what he stood for in his life and the sacrifice that he made for all of us. I do believe that he was real and he lived, and that his spirit is very, very, very much alive today. So, and this story is just one tiny example. I guess it's not tiny, one really big example of why I feel that way. And I have a lot of other stories that, like I said, are in a similar vein, that also lead me to believe even more strongly in my conviction that, you know, it's real, that the spiritual realm is real, that just because we can't see it physically, I think there's certain people that are more sensitive and can perceive said energies, said spirits, entities, whatever you want to call it. I think there are people that are more sensitive to it. And I don't know if maybe it's because of all the trauma that I've experienced in my life, and that I like feel, you know, I feel things very, very, very deeply. And so perhaps that's why I'm more sensitive. Like it's like a sixth sense type of thing that I think we absolutely have as humans. Like if you're ever in a situation and the hair on the back of your neck stands up, like that's your sixth sense, you know, like that's your nervous system and your gut telling you that something's not right or something like feels off. And I think a lot of times we try to ignore that because we don't understand it, but I think we need to trust that feeling a lot more, because I think our bodies have like this like signal, this like ability to sense things that we don't necessarily sense by, you know, the normal 5 senses, by scent, smell, taste, touch, and I forget the other one, but so anyways, I think it's an interesting topic, and I would really, really love to hear about any experiences that you've had in the comments below. And again, I thank you for being here, for supporting me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it. It would really, really help me out.